And then, David, how did you come to be diagnosed with Becker muscular dystrophy?
I think obviously once I got the diagnosis, you end up going through like a filing cabinet of memories and thinking, oh, that could have been a sign, that might have been a sign. But basically, it sort of came to a head that we'd we'd bought an apartment in Glasgow up a like in a tenement flat, so up a staircase. And when we moved in, we wanted to renovate it. So we got the original floorboards, we wanted them sanding. So a guy came over, brought this huge machine, or said he had this huge machine, said normally he's got someone to help him. And stupidly, I just thought, oh, I'll help you get it up the stairs, and got like halfway up. And I mean, it must have weighed over like 150 kilos or something, which, I was struggling to walk up the stairs just with my own weight, to be really honest. But, I kept thinking that was because I didn't eat something right, or I hadn't, drunk enough water or exercise or whatever. So I sort of always had an excuse for all these things in the past, I think. And yeah, I pulled loads of muscles in my back, and basically I couldn't take it sort of the next part of the staircase. So he like dismantled it and brought it in. And I had like a trapped nerve in my neck for ages. Normally, like with things through my life, I never really ever went to hospital or the doctor. So eventually I thought I need to go see a physio. So I went to a private physio for the first time in my life. And this is about 2021. So it was just as we bought the flat. And I just started working at a car garage because I've worked in the motor trade for like 17 years while being a musician as well. Um, so started realizing even at work that I was struggling to walk up staircases, which sort of annoyed my boss. So he was like, you need to get this sorted like immediately. And the physio gave me like a 5 week program of do these things, and the trapped nerve went away, but I still had this lower back pain that was kind of new. Um, so I came back after 5 weeks doing the things she told me, and we're doing a few little exercises to see how good I'd got with them. And then we're doing like basically at the front of a staircase, I was just taking a step up and taking a step down and like doing this motion. And she just looked at like the way I was doing it, and she was like, something doesn't look right. And she contacted my GP and said, I think either he's got like a spinal damage, like something wrong with his spine, or something's basically been picked up. Not that she knew anything about muscular dystrophy. And then I'd gone for MRIs. Obviously, this is over like a 2 year period on my spine. Months went by, had, a meeting with a doctor to say, oh, there's nothing wrong. It doesn't look worn out. So I think in my mind at this point, I was just thinking there's three options basically here. One's going to be you've permanently damaged your back and there's nothing we can do. Another option would be you've damaged your back and you'll get better with some rest or some exercise. And then the third option, I think, sort of my worst case scenario was you're going to need surgery. And then nothing sort of came of those. I think I had an MRI maybe on my legs as well. But eventually my GP saw me again. So this is probably 2 years on from 2021, and put me in touch with a neurologist. And she immediately, when she saw me, I think she knew about Becker muscular dystrophy because a friend of mine who I later came to know that lived in Glasgow actually had Becker, and I think she had some knowledge of it. So I went for a blood test, and then months later, I had a phone call at work, and this is July 2023. And I just remember walking out of this like car workshop and her saying, you have Becker muscular dystrophy. Unfortunately, there's no treatment. There's nothing you can do. Avoid heavy lifting. And I think at that point I was staring at an engine like from a car that I needed to move. And I was just thinking, my job is to deal with heavy things. And I've done it for since I was like 18 years old. And as the article says, it was really like a grenade going off where I couldn't hear anything, just completely went, insular, and just thought, okay, this wasn't an option. So that was really the bombshell. And yeah, it's been quite an intense ride. I mean, I've done a hell of a lot of stuff in a year to combat it, from being told there's nothing you can do and no treatment or things like that.